Welcome to Entrepreneurs, Executives, and Eccentrics, a podcast dedicated to the stories, strategies, and secrets of remarkable individuals. Join us as we engage in enlightening conversations with intriguing entrepreneurs, accomplished executives, and fascinating eccentrics, exploring their journeys, triumphs, and unconventional wisdom that has shaped their success.
Is it a cutthroat product that, we have to start fighting for space for people to buy? So I don't want the blue ocean.
Get ready to meet Lynn Lye. Lynn has helped develop major pet food brands like Freshpet and Chewy.com by guiding their products from concept to market. She's the founder of Lye Consulting Group, which specializes in helping food and pet food brands launch products into retail. With over 26 years of food engineering, she's now developing her own line of all-natural mocktails, Zur, targeting the growing sober curious movement. Lynn Lye, welcome to the podcast. Would you please tell me who you are and what you do?
Thank you, Scott. Thanks for having me on your show. I started Lye Consulting Group about 5 years ago. And basically what we do at Lye Consulting Group is we help clients in the food and pet food industry. We basically have clients who come to us. They have a vision of a product. They are people with products that they want to launch, but they have no idea how to bring that product to retail. So they come to us and they basically go, I have this product. I've been selling this product at the farmer's market or from, on our website, but I want to grow this product. I want to sell at Whole Foods. I want to sell at Target. I want to sell at Costco. But how do I go about doing this in a retail? Or I want to, sell this to restaurants. So what we do at our Lye Consulting Group is that we help them plan this product. We help them source ingredients. We formulate it for a retail store. We help them from A to Z, basically find a contract manufacturer. We call them co-mans. Help them find a place that they can produce it. They don't have to buy land to build to build up the factory. We help them find a company that can make the product. We help them stabilize the product. We then, launch the product through retail. We make sure that the product is safe, either safe for human consumption, safe for pets, because, the last thing you need is a recall, right? So you got to make sure the product is safe, the product is good. It's safe on the retail store. It handles light, it handles humidity, it handles everything else. So all of that comes into play. Basically, what my role is I am your operations manager. I'm your R&D person. I am your QA manager. I am your food safety manager. I am everything but your sales manager. I am your branding manager. I'm your regulatory person. I do the whole A to Z, except for your sales portion. You, as a client, are in charge of selling your own product. So
let's back up just for a second. So let's pretend that I've been at a farmer's market, or I have an idea and I do cupcakes as an example, or I do some type of food, right? And I know how to bake it. I know how to do this. I know how to do all that stuff. But going from that to a storefront is hard. And I think I know why, because you've got to stabilize it. It's got to be able to be packaged. It's got to be edible. It's got to be scalable. You've got to be able to make a lot of them and have it consistently, have it where it doesn't change color or look gross or all the things. How the hell did you get into this business? How did you get here? Because you've worked, like I was looking through your resume. You have worked for Freshpet, which by the way we use a lot of. You've worked for Chewy. I mean, you've done some really big clients. So kind of how did you get here?
So when I went to school, I did engineering. I was like, I'm going to do mechanical engineering. I came from an Asian family background. You could either be an accountant, an engineer, or a lawyer. There's nothing else. So I was like, I'm going to do engineering. So I started with mechanical engineering, and then I realized I didn't like to put cars back together. So I was like, what other engineering is there out there? So my professor said, how about food engineering? I'm like, what the heck is a food engineering? So the more I learned about it, the more I fell in love with it. It was like, that was it. That was the light in my brain. It was like, that's exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to do food equipment. I wanted to do food flavors. I wanted the culinary and the food equipment coming together. So that's what I did. I graduated with a food engineering degree. I worked for Wayne Farms. I worked for Keystone Foods, which is a food company that supported the fast food restaurants, the fast casual restaurants. So we develop food. Basically, we start from ideation, and we brought all of the concepts. Like we
Because you're kind of
basically
the R&D person, right? You're kind of, I had this idea for, let's say it is an example that like what you used to do was like kind of pet food. Well, I want it to be more human-like. I want it to be smell good to the person giving it to their aunt, and then they would kind of come up with that concept and you would run with it ultimately.
correct. So what I do is, yes, I take the whole concept. I follow food trends. I follow what's going on in the industry, and I have to take the magic ball and I have to predict, okay, now that the industry is there, what are people wanting? So for example, let's talk about food. Let's say guacamole, right? Long time ago, you can only get guacamole in restaurants. You can only, if you want a guacamole, you made them yourself at home or you get them in the restaurants. But over the years, now you see guacamole in little cups, in little serving cups, right?
Yeah.
So sometime down the road, someone in the product industry said, you know what? Let's serve guacamole in little single serve containers. Put that on the shelf. Put it in a convenience store. Put it next to the chips. Now you can just go to the store. You buy the little guacamole cups. You can have your chips and guacamole. You don't have to go to a restaurant anymore to eat your guacamole. So that's product development in a nutshell. So someone 10 years ago decided, how do we take avocado? How do we make it to the finish line and serve
how do we keep it green,
without
right?
going to the restaurant? Yes.
Yeah, how do we keep it green, right? How do you, and that's what you'll figure out. You're like, okay, well, we can't let it expose it to oxygen. We can't do this. We have to have this preservative in it, and that is
everyone knows
much fun. Yeah,
avocado is like good. Oh, not good anymore. It's like 1 hour later, it's like, whoop, it's black. So how does one figure that part out? How does one figure out how do you stay green consistently? And then don't forget, in a retail shop, in a refrigerator, you have light exposure, you have temperature exposure, you have so many things that comes into play. Someone in the back shelf has a different refrigerator. All the retail stores have different temperature in the refrigerator. You have humidity in Miami. You have really cold temperature in New York in like the dead winter. How does all of that stay good? So someone with food science, food engineering comes in to figure all that out. So that is my job as a engineer, as a scientist. And that is my role to play when I develop food products.
that sounds like a lot of fun. I don't know, because when you think about it, it's science, but it's also art, right? Because you have to make it look right. Food is an art. When you eat it, it's got to taste correctly. So you're kind of a little bit of all of this.
Yes.
That sounds like
so my consulting group comes in and take from A to Z. So we take from the formulation part, we help create ideations. We also do a little bit of innovation creation. So basically, sometimes company does come to us as well. They're so busy with day-to-day production. They're so busy with like, you know what, we don't have enough staff to come up with ideas as to what do we do to fill in the pipeline, like what do we have to strategize for the next 5 years? And what I do is I sort of, come in and help them figure out what innovation strategy can we put in the pipeline? What can we help them with to foresee the future? What can we put in the pockets? And what can we do for a quick win now? What can we do for the long-term win? And we help them figure out how they can then use what they have for the equipment and build products, and so that they can do some business strategy, and then they can launch the products. We can help them do the R&D work for them to kind of help free up their people to do what they currently do, and we help them with their future work. So we do a little bit of that.
Like a lot of fun. It sounds like a lot of fun. But you started it in kind of the fast casual like providers, and then you kind of moved into the pet food world there for a minute. Can you talk about that just for a moment?
Yeah. So I grew up with a ton of dogs. Basically, when I was born, I had dogs. So when I worked for Keystone Foods, which is now owned by Tyson, I was in human food for the longest time. And then one day, Freshpet, who was still a up-and-coming small company then, Scott Morris and Richard Thompson, who was the president and the CEO then, approached me and asked me to join their company. I was like, what in the world is a refrigerated pet food? I didn't know then, but the more I learned about them, the more I was so intrigued that they were fresh food for dogs. Back then, premium pet food for dogs was up and rising. Pet humanization was rising, and we'll talk a little bit about pet humanization next.
Right.
That's a very interesting, chapter of pets. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to join that team. It was growing fresh food for dogs. We don't call them pet food anymore. We call them food for dogs. Kibbles are like, kibbles, food for dogs. That's a new term, because food for dogs, that is more like human food. Pet humanization is basically using pets. Pets are like companions. Pets are now, no longer just dogs in the yard. There are dogs for companionship. There are dogs for mental health. There are dogs for, like people choose dogs over marriage now. People choose dogs over kids now. You have dogs before you have kids, right? So that's up and rising. So pet humanization is rising, and it was starting to rise back then. So I joined Freshpet to help them put in products. I was a VP of R&D, and I helped them put products into market. We fill up refrigerators. We were growing. We were the only fresh refrigerated pet food in the market. We put a ton of products in the market. We were feeding dogs with fresh food. They were getting healthy, shiny coats. When I did that, it was so much joy for me. I love feeding dogs. I love seeing healthy dogs. We went IPO. We had successful launch. Then I had a midlife crisis. I was like, you know what? I got tired of snow. That's when I decided I wanted to, move to Miami. I picked the hottest place in the United States.
Yep, you did.
Yeah.
It was so hot there. It's 100% humidity and 105 degrees. Awesome.
Yeah, we're still preheating right now. It's July. We're preheating. Let me tell you. Then I moved to Miami, and then I had a chance to join Chewy.com, which was also up and rising. Chewy.com we were growing like weeds. We were growing up and fast and wild. I joined Chewy.com because Chewy.com needed someone to help them start up their private label team. Private label is basically, matching top performing companies with their own company brand. So Chewy was starting up their own line of pet food, pet treats, pet supplements, you name it. We were trying to match someone out there for a lower cost product, equivalent product. So they needed someone to start up the R&D regulatory quality team. So that I came in, I started up the team. I launched a bunch of products for Chewy under the private label brand. Again, we had a successful IPO. I did that. And then soon after, I decided, you know what, I got tired of matching people's product. I kind of wanted to come back to being creative again. I love the ideation sessions. I love coming up with crazy products for people. That's when I went back into, you know what, I'm going to start my own consulting company. And that's where I am now. I do half human food. I do half pet food. At some point in time, I was like, you know what, I got tired of eating pet food. I taste all my own food. So regardless if it's human food or pet food, that's where the shiny hair comes in.
Yeah. That is commitment. So it's funny because we were talking earlier, and and it's almost like a natural progression that you would create your own product, right? Mm-hmm. It almost feels like you're now to the point where it's time to start your own product, and you are, right? It's this.
I am.
Talk about that for a moment.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm actually very, very proud of this. So after 26 years of, helping clients develop their products, I was like, you know what? I'm going to develop my own product now. I'm very proud to say our brand Zir, Z-I-R, is launching soon. It is a line of all natural crafted mocktails. It's actually a powder form. So in the world of mocktail beverage, it's a big growing segment. A lot of people are curious sober, which is sort of like a movement now. We'll see a lot of millennials that are like, you know what, we want to drink in moderation. We want to stay healthy. It's a huge trend. So we did a ton of work. I surveyed over 100 consumers. We went to all these food trade shows, and 80% of the alcoholic sector you see out there is mocktails. They're branching out into mocktails. And what makes Zir a little bit different is that We're all natural. We're made with fruit juices and agave nectar. A lot of the mocktails, you see some out there, are made with artificial sweeteners and all that. So ours is like a adult beverage, more sophisticated line of flavors you can't find in your kitchen pantry. And they're
Like
little
as an
portable
example,
sticks.
like for instance, what?
We have like a gooseberry margarita, a dragon fruit mojito, a blackberry thyme martini. So those are like, flavors that you won't find in your kitchen that you just kind of put together. So it's like a bartender crafted in the bar and then serve it to you in a nice fancy cup. But what you get is like a little pack of sachet. It's a little sachet, so it's portable. So you can carry it with you when you're traveling. Let's say you're a business traveler, right? You're like, you know what? I really want a nightcap before I go to bed, but I really don't want to walk down to the bar. I'm tired. I'm working on my laptop. I just want to drink a quick drink, right? So you take out your little powder from your laptop bag. You take the powder, you pour in a cup, you pour 4 ounces of ice cold water, you stir it up, and then you go to the little, your little refrigerator in your hotel, and you take the $6 alcohol bottle and you pour it in, and you have a little cocktail. Or if you don't want a cocktail, you just serve it as a mocktail. So it's something portable, it's something easy. That's what I want to do. I want to give clients or customers something convenient, something portable. That's a product that I'm launching. So
okay, so let's talk about that just for a second. So
Mhm.
so it's fairly healthy, right? I'm sure it has hopefully it has sugar in it, because I love sugar.
Yes.
And it really, it's a matter of it rehydrates, right? It's mostly water. It's all the
Mhm.
reasons, but it's not boring like water. It's this mocktail.
Yes, it is a fruit flavor. It's all natural. It's a mocktail. So it's a nice crafted beverage, something that you would like get from the bar, but it's something that's just portable that you can just make it at home.
I love the
It's
idea. I know, but I love the idea that you've been doing this for somebody else for so long, and finally you're like, no, nope. I'm gonna do my own. Finally, I'm gonna finally do my own thing.
Yes,
So it's
I know.
it sounds like you did the market research. It sounds like you did for yourself what you do for your clients and you've been doing for everybody else, right? Can you walk us through how you find a contract manufacturer, all the things that kind of just briefly how you kind of went to that journey to make it happen?
Yeah. So when I first started this, there's like a creative process. You probably read the book Blue Ocean Strategy years ago
Mm-mm.
back so there's a book, Blue Ocean Strategy, published in the 2000s, I think. It's a concept. So it's a great book for product developers, for anyone wanting to learn about product development. It's basically a concept where they talk about blue ocean and red ocean. Red ocean is where it represents all the industry that's in existence today. So you have an ocean and it's all red, right? And then you have a blue ocean, where the blue ocean is an untapped market, where it's a space where you can create new demand, where you can
An
create
uncontested
growth.
market space.
Correct. So your goal is you want to find a blue ocean in the midst of all of this red ocean. So just like my work for all my clients, when they bring me a product, I want to see, where does your product lie? Is your product a blue ocean or a red ocean? If it's a red ocean, it's in this competitive space where I have to find what's different about your product that we're going to have people buy your product instead of all the other. Is it a cutthroat product that, we have to start fighting for space for people to buy? So I want the blue ocean. So just like my product, Zur, that's a blue ocean product because there's not many players out there that have mocktails in a little single serve packet. All the mocktails are in cans. All the mocktails are ready to drink. So there's no one that's portable. You can't carry a can drink through security. You don't want to be carrying a 6-pack can drink that's so heavy and lug it all around. Like you said, when you want to go surfing, you don't want to carry like canned drinks everywhere you go. You just carry a powder, and the powder fits, very lightly in anything. It's like a little envelope, a little sachet of a little powder.
Love it.
So
No,
I want to find an untapped space. That's where I come in. That's my blue ocean. So I start with an idea. Then from the idea, I find out, okay, so now I have a unique proposition. I have a unique selling point. Then I find a contract manufacturer. Basically, I find someone who can make this product for me. What is, are they going to be able to make it safely? Do they have any recall history of other product they sell? Are they making my competitor's product? Okay, they're not. Okay, that's good. So then I work with them on ingredients. How do I procure ingredients? Then I work on the marketing side, the film. What kind of film am I going to use? Is this film going to be safe for the grocery store? When you touch the film, when you wrinkle it, is it going to stay wrinkled? Is it going to stay nice? How does it look on the retail store? Is the light going to shine through it? And then now you can read the writing on the front of the packaging because the light shines through it. That's not going to be good. Then I work through the boxes, the packaging. Is it going to crush when someone tries to put it on the shelf? Then I work through humidity, non-humidity. So all of that fine stuff. And then I launch the product. Once I launch the product, I have to work through shelf life. So we have what we call product management cycle. The job doesn't just end there. That's the start of the product management cycle. Then I have to, go through and see, okay, now I have consumer feedback. What the consumers like about it, don't like about it. And then I work through refining the product. And then, it goes on. So
But it really it's food science, but it's also art, right? It feels like it's this kind of hybrid between the two, because it's one thing being able to make something safe, something attractive, something that doesn't clump up when it gets too humid or gets crushed on a store. But it's also, oh, they thought that was too strong. Let me back off on that taste or this flavor profile or whatever. It feels like art and science. This is it sounds like fun. That's what I'm getting at. So when is your product launch?
We're planning on launching it sometime in Q4 of this year. And if you are interested to being on our journey, please come visit our website, sign up to be part of what we call Zeralites, our followers, basically. We're trying to be hip and cool like the millennials, but we're so old, we're just trying to fit right in. Come on our journey.
That's funny.
I know. drinkzer.com is our website. I can share that with you, Scott, later. We take pride in connecting with all our advocates. So all the communications will be coming directly from me or my co-founder. Co-founder and I started this about a year and a half ago. We're so excited. So, I'm going to send some product to you, Scott. And,
Yes, please. I just signed up, by the way. I just signed up on your website. So now I'm on your newsletter. And then once you launch, we would love to have you back on to kind of tell us what you learned, right? Because it's everybody has a plan until they get hit, right? Everybody has a plan until they engage the enemy. We want to know ultimately your plan now is what we know your plan now. And then how did the plan work when you went live? And we'd love to do this again.
And it's very interesting because 26 years of doing this, and usually when there's a decision, all I do is I just present option A or option B to my clients, and they make the decision, right? I'm like, all right, here's Scott, here's your decision. You have to pick A or B, and then I'm like, there you go. Just tell me what your answer is. Now I'm on the other shoe, and I'm like, oh, it's so hard to decide. Well, I don't know. So now I get the full cycle of the picture, and it helps me make my job a little bit better because I'm sitting on the other side of the shoe now as the entrepreneur that have to run my own product, And I'm like, darn. Okay, now I realize how hard that decision is because I'm presenting that option A and option B to myself now, And I was like, wow, okay, that's a little harder than I thought when initially I'm the one presenting them that decision.
I'm going to send anybody. So I may become one of your clients in the next couple of months if we decide to start some type of food product. But I definitely want to check back out with you when after you guys go live. Lynn, it was awesome meeting you. And thank you so much for coming on. This is extremely interesting. I'm a little bit jealous. I almost wish I could do my life over as a food scientist. It sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you so much, Scott, for having me. I really appreciate it.